Hey, happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend. Of course, this week, though, it's all about Tuesday. I'm Jessup Reisbeck. This is your CBS 58 Quickcast, right to ready weather, because we want to know about Election Day and how the weather's going to shape out as those people head to the polls, Drew.
Hi, Jessup. Yeah, shouldn't have any issues out there. You're going to need the jacket for your Tuesday. We will have a east to southeast wind at times from about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mix of sun and clouds at 9 a.m., lower 40s. Upper 40s, about 50 degrees at noon, and a lot of lower 50s throughout the afternoon, and that's exactly where we should be this time of the year. 6 o'clock, expected a temp at 48.
Weather-wise, no excuses not to get out to the polls. Thank you, Drew. Ahead of tomorrow's election, we have team coverage on both the U.S. Senate and governor races. Capitol correspondent Emily Fannin is with Governor Tony Evers earlier today.
Governor Tony Evers making his final pitch to voters, ending his statewide tour by making stops in Milwaukee and right here in Madison, two Democratic strongholds he's hoping to help him boost turnout in effort to compete with Republican support among rural and suburban voters. During his visit to Milwaukee, Evers said he's making inroads with rural voters with his education platform as he's locked in a tight race against Republican Tim Michels. Evers is hoping to overcome President Joe Biden's low approval ratings with inflation and the economy top concerns among voters. For now, I'm going to toss it to my colleague Adam Reif, who's covering Tim Michels' final campaign stop in Kenosha.
Evers' Republican challenger Tim Michels is continuing a furious pace, touring all throughout the state. Monday starting in De Pere at noon and ending up in Kenosha on Monday evening. We'll be there for that full report. Now, Michels has hammered home a few tried and true themes his supporters are really responding to. Michels says crime and inflation are too high. He says 401ks and student test scores are too low. Now, today, Michels said he will work with Democrats to make sure he gets things done if elected governor. His team is holding a private party Tuesday night to watch those election returns come in. We'll be there and have full reports. Back to you, Jessup.
We'll see you at 9 and 10. Thank you, Adam. Well, in the race for U.S. Senate, Senator Ron Johnson and Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes also on the campaign trail today. Michelle Fiore was in Waukesha, where Johnson is finishing up his bus tour.
I'm Michelle Fiore in Waukesha, where Senator Ron Johnson made a second campaign visit to Waukesha just in the last 2 days. And he's saying that his theme right now is focused on healing and unity. He was also critical in his speech out here of his opponent, Mandela Barnes, saying he wants to know why Barnes would want to even represent people who he says have institutionalized racism. And he also questioned what Barnes has done, he said, in his adult life, saying that we all know Barnes' mother was a teacher and his father worked third shift. Now we turn things over to my colleague, Stephanie Rodriguez, who is covering the Barnes campaign.
Thanks, Michelle. Meanwhile, Johnson's challenger Mandela Barnes spent his last day on the campaign trail highlighting the grassroots efforts of his campaign while criticizing the super PACs that have run ads in favor of Johnson. He said while they may have been outspent, they weren't outworked. Barnes told supporters that, quote, polls go up and polls go down. And if they're frustrated by the ones that show Barnes behind, to go out and vote and to bring others. Jessup.
Stephanie, Michelle, Adam, Emily, thank you to all of you. Now this morning, a group of diverse faith leaders gathering at Milwaukee City Hall for one last push before Election Day. The Souls to the Polls organization holding an interfaith and intercultural conference to encourage voting. The group focuses on voter protection, reminding voters of their rights. Their message, regardless of religion, race, or culture, everyone's voice deserves to be heard. In sports, the Packers are reeling today after yesterday's loss to the Detroit Lions, the previously 1-6 Detroit Lions. And now, on top of it, injuries to the Packers. Aaron Jones's ankle does seem to be okay, but Romeo Doubs and Eric Stokes will likely both miss some time. And emerging star Rashawn Gary officially done for the year with a torn ACL. Well, the college basketball season tips off today, and the undefeated Bucks look to go 10-0, taking on the Hawks in Atlanta. See you tonight at 9 and 10 for that and this as well. Much more tonight as we continue our coverage of the midterm election, including much more on the drama behind military ballots. We will see you tonight, but for now, that is your CBS 58 Quickcast. I'm Jessup Reisbeck. We appreciate you watching. Get out there and vote.